are susceptible to heart attacks?
Okay, very good question. I think all adults are susceptible to heart attacks. Anybody who's beyond the age of about 18-20 can have a heart attack. What is a heart attack? As we all know, heart is a muscle pump which constantly keeps pumping from the time we are in mother's womb to our last breath. For the heart muscle to pump, it needs constant supply of blood through the blood pipes. If you imagine heart to be a muscle bag of 3 walls, each wall is supplied by its own blood pipe called coronary arteries, which brings food and oxygen to the heart muscle. If for any reason there is an obstruction in these pipes, the blood flow to the heart muscle decreases. That decrease or lack of blood supply and thereby decreasing oxygen supply and food supply to the heart muscle leads to the damage of the heart, calling it heart attack. Why does this happen? Most often it happens because of buildup of cholesterol inside of the blood pipe or the coronary artery. As you have seen, like an old tap in the house, after about 10-15 years the water flow is less. Why? The minerals or solid particles in the water start sedimenting on the inner side of the water pipe. Similarly, as we all age beyond the age of 20 years, the solid particles like cholesterol, blood sugar and other things start sedimenting on the inner part of the blood pipes, causing the blood pipe to become narrower. Usually heart attack is a phenomenon beyond the age of 40, but today's stressful life has brought it down to about 20 years onwards anyone could have.
What are some of the symptoms if you have a heart attack? And what would you do if you or someone around you has a heart attack?
It's again, my take on this is, I believe I am susceptible to heart attack. That's the first acknowledgement that needs to happen. Most people think, heart attack will happen to a stranger or a ghost, not to me or my dear ones. That's the notion that needs to go out. And then look at those people who are vulnerable. Who are vulnerable to heart attack? Those who are obese, those who smoke, those who have hypertension, diabetes, high cholesterol, and those who are apparently healthy but whose family there's a history of heart disease at a younger age. These are the people who are most vulnerable. Most important, smoking. That's number 1 killer. Be careful. Once you know these susceptible people, you need to educate them and make them believe that they are vulnerable to watch out for those symptoms. Fantastic question. What are the symptoms of heart attack? Heart attack tends to have one common symptom, that is discomfort. It's not always pain. A discomfort usually in the center part of the chest or on both the part of the chest, anywhere between umbilicus to jaw. It can be perceived as constricting pain, heaviness, tightness, or stabbing pain, or burning. Many patients think it's a gastric or acidity and they take over-the-counter medicine and they don't even reach the hospital. We lose them even before that. So the symptom is just a discomfort. It could be heaviness, tightness, squeezing, burning or stabbing, any of that, which is usually in the center of the chest and on both sides and on the inner part of the arm and to the shoulders and to the jaw. All these are symptoms of heart discomfort. Many others may not feel this discomfort or pain. They may just become severely breathless, or they could feel giddy and fall, and some of them may become unconscious because heart either stops or starts beating so fast. Instead of beating 100 to 120 times, it starts beating at 400 when it is just quivering and unable to send the blood up to the brain. Unless you shock them, they don't survive.
Very true. So they absolutely have to get to the hospital when they experience these symptoms. There's nothing you can do at home, is there?
This is a very important area again where we are not educated. We should all learn basic life support system.
True.
It doesn't matter on whom you may have to perform it, but I think all of us need to train ourselves. Our hospital at Apollo, our emergency chief teaches it for free to all the police people, the school teachers, the school children, the employees at software industry, we offer them this free training to save a life. So to say that if somebody becomes unconscious or has a heart attack, he is destined to die unless a doctor, an angel comes down to him. No, I think we have a responsibility. All of us need to train ourselves on the basic life skill support. That's either, compression of the chest and breathing. Second, most important thing is call an ambulance. Never take a patient by your own vehicle, because most people die in their own vehicle. When an ambulance arrives, there's a qualified person inside with all the medication and the equipment to save the life from the time they've recognized the patient in the home or office and he reaches the hospital. So very important to know the value of ambulance. Always stick the ambulance numbers like 108, 1066, so that any emergency, call an ambulance.
True. Is there any medications that we can give if they're conscious patients who are on their way, en route, waiting for an ambulance? Is there anything that we can do?
Fantastic. I think please have these emergency room numbers of the hospitals. If you find somebody, seemingly suffering from a heart attack, please call one of the doctors if you know them, or the emergency room. Tell them that we have one of a colleague or friend or a family who is complaining of these symptoms. We suspect it's heart attack. What do you want me to do? The basic thing is you could have certain medicines like an aspirin,
Right.
which should be and must be kept in most homes, and it could be dissolved in a small amount of water and ask them to swallow. Apart from that, please be on the line on the emergency physician or the doctor that you know till the ambulance arrives, so that another doctor can take over. So it's very, very important.
Now, let's talk about some of the stress management that we can look at and how do they go about it, because we mentioned that it's important for them to get that under control. How do we
Sure.
do that?
One of the major reasons why young people become hypertensive is stress, apart from tobacco smoking and overweight and overeating.
Right,
Stress is a very subjective thing.
right,
If you put 10 people into the same situation, all of them do not perceive stress in the same manner. If you're looking at children, stress comes from two. One is socio-economic. If they are very poor, there's a stress. Apart from that, expectation of the parents and the surrounding,
right,
especially the adolescent
Right.
children.
right.
So I think being aware of what are their capabilities and having parental expectation which is reasonable to that ability is very, very important.
True.
A child has to succeed to its own potential, not to someone else's potential. That's what parents need to think, so that child is not under stress. Coming to adults, I think middle-aged people, when we call stress, most of this stress is either very aspirational people. Second, most people are unrealistic in expectations in their life.
True.
They do not calibrate themselves well enough against the job that they do. They take a job for what it pays rather than what they can deliver.
True.
I think happy life is more important than prosperous life, right? So because most will earn enough to have a comfortable life, but every day should not become a burden because you have chosen somewhere where it is little more for you every day. I think being honest with yourself to deliver what is expected and take what it gives you, takes away the stress to the maximum extent. So be realistic. And third, when you go for a job, which all of us do, we need to be realistic that when I wake up and go to a job, I have to solve 10 problems. There'll be new 10 problems. I can't go to job hoping that there will not be any problem, and he's a problem, she's a problem, there's a new problem.
Sure.
Just because there will be a problem, we have a job to solve them every morning. If world was perfect, none of us would have been employed. So I think people should react to problems in a very reasonable manner.
Okay.
Take it as, this is my duty to look for 10 problems and solve and go back. And elderly and homemakers,
Right.
I think there's another kind of a stress.
True.
they need to really sit together and talk to each other to be reasonable in the
Understand.
time that is spent between them. So stress is a multifactorial, but we must understand it's part of our existence. Without stress, none of us would work. But it should be, motivating stress, but not detrimental to health.
Very true. We mentioned several things that can affect hypertension and how do we go about it. Let's give them a few take-home points. What would you think is the most important way for them to prevent hypertension from even occurring in the first place?
Okay, it's my favorite question. So I would say it starts from home. I think mothers need to display the fruits, vegetables every day on the table.
Okay.
Not the fried stuff, not the candies, not the sweets. Hide them inside, but what is kept in your fridge, please bring it and keep it on the table. As a child sees it, as an adult going back home sees it, he would like to take a grab of it. Next, as a family, please walk, do activities together, exercise, because it's a cultivated habit. Starts from very young age. Avoid taking your two-wheelers, four-wheelers for as long as possible.
Okay.
Start climbing stairs wherever there's an opportunity.
Climb those stairs.
And then once we're into middle age, live, as I said, be aspirational but be realistic. Compete at the top level, but be very realistic. And when you go back, sleep well. Once on the bed, never think. If something is bothering you, don't go back onto the bed. Come back to your chair, sort that thought, go back and sleep. Once on the bed, don't think about anything, because that's the time your body needs to unwind and relax completely. Practice, few measures like this, meditation or yoga, whatever, where you forget who you are, and then exercise, 40-45 minutes of exercise. Build a band of friends who have similar, interests.
Right.
Don't compromise for your, boyfriend, husband, grandmother, child. That 40 minutes is yours, and then that's for prevention. But once diagnosed to have hypertension, please be very responsible. You can make hypertension your friend, but if you ignore him, he will damage.
Very true.
So go back for your periodic checkups, take medicines as prescribed, have periodic, organ examinations. You could live till 80-85 years without damage if you responsibly handle it.
Sounds great. Thank you so much for this.
How does staying up late or staying up on your phone and not getting adequate sleep affect heart disease overall?
I think it will increase the risk, because sleep is the only time when your body, really the sympathetic drive goes down, the parasympathetic level comes up. That means heart rate goes down, blood pressure comes down, all the muscles relax as though in a dead person. So that is the time your blood pressure comes down. It's the time for the body to regenerate itself for next day.
Right.
If you drive the body continuously day and night without probably uninterrupted 6 to 8 hours of sleep, means completely thoughtless. In the sense, thoughtless means no thoughts. Okay, and very relaxed, active sleep. Not trying hard to fall asleep is very crucial for body to remain healthy and not to have heart attack, cancers, and whatnot. Equally important is to stay away from bright light from probably about 8 p.m. onwards if you're going to hit the bed at 9 or 10 p.m. Because there is a gland in the brain called pineal gland, which secretes hormone for sleep. If it was, circadian rhythm, means our body and all animals and birds' bodies were meant to react with sunlight and sunset. So once the brightness comes, that hormone level goes down. Once the darkness sets, it starts secreting that sleep hormone.
Right.
If you keep looking at these bright screens for next 2 hours, it will not secrete those hormones in a level that it can give you undisturbed sleep.
Sure.
To stay away from bright lights, bright screens, whether televisions or handheld devices to bright lights in your room, really soothing and helps you to have a good sleep and less risk of heart attack in the future.